Yo, what is up, dudes? Well, very exciting video today. We have the brand new THU 2 that has come out about a week ago, and I've been going through it and checking it out. And it has some cool new features. I just wanted to get into maybe the 5 most exciting new features, with the new software. So I can actually turn a little screen on here, show you the software. The main thing you're going to notice is that the layout has really changed. Up here you have the patches on the left side, and if you notice, these patches close up. There are the banks. The banks and the patches are now unified. You close it up and you have the banks. You open it up and you have the individual patches. And another new thing about this that I think is really cool is they've added favorites. So I can click a few items and say, like, these are the patches I really like and I want to favorite them. I can just click that star. And then if I go up here, I can say, just show the favorites. And there it's just showing the favorites. These other ones have favorited items. But you get the idea, right? I show all patches and it goes. And you can do the inverse. You can just say, show me non-favorites. That way you can filter out the ones you haven't favorited yet and explore new patches. But big change on that on the left-hand side. Down here in the corner, you have the tuner now. The tuner used to be up in the middle. The tuner is now down here. You click that, and you can see the tuner. I have it set to mute. Interesting. I would thought we would be. Okay. Interesting. Is that a global mute? Just wondering if it's a like a global setting. That's live mode. That's saving patches. All right. Yeah, it's weird. Could be a bug. BPM is the internal BPM if you were doing something against a delay and you're trying to sync up the beats per minute. You can do that by syncing it up here. You can even have a tap function. There's your output, and you can drag the slider to move it around at different numbers. I think I have it set to -1.5. That seemed to work best with my system. And now there's a mute button, which I don't remember being on the old one. And then up at the top on the right-hand side, it brings in the items, the delays, and you can see they're by banks now, right? So it's a bank of delays and choruses. And I believe you can break it down. Like if you just want the flangers, they're all right there. If you just want the fuzz pedals, it's just the fuzz pedals. So it has some, and you can favorite these as well. It's a little off screen, but you can, can I move this over a little bit so you can see, you can see the favorites right there. And what else? If you go here, it just shows all of the rig models, and then here are all the super cabs, and it's just basically the cabinets, all the different cabinets that it comes with. It's pretty good. And the last thing is the looper, which would show up down here. The looper has been, it's pretty much the same as the last looper, but they organize it down here at the bottom. It's pretty good. And then I think that's undo, redo. And that's it. Let me just get this off screen, and I can get this off of screen. So we can see this. Now, like the old one here, you have to move around, but you can actually click up in here and move around, especially if you have, this is very easy if you have a very long. It's easier to do that than to go like this. right? This is a fairly short chain, but you could just imagine you're sitting here going like this versus going up here and being able to move around very easily. So if they had this before, I don't remember it. I remember this being down at the bottom, but I don't remember being able to click on it. You probably couldn't. I just didn't know you could. That might be new. Not really sure. What definitely is new are the new fluid IRs. You see that little symbol right there? That little note? Let's zoom in. See that right there? That little IR? That tells you it's a fluid IR, right? And it's just basically an impulse response that has literally some fluidity to it, where depending on the frequencies it receives, it gives a different response. It's a fluid IR instead of a static IR. And, the goal is to sound more like the real thing. This is... I think that sounds great. So that's a little bit about the new layout and the fluid IRs and the favorites. Those were 3 items I wanted to touch on. Not the last, but the next thing I'd like to point out is this new, is it up here? Right there. Is this new transpose feature. So like say they're in, like I'm in E. Say I'm trying to jam along with something like Van Halen and they're in E flat. Or, it's Black Sabbath and they're in D, or Motley Crue and they're in D, right? Tune down. It's the same tuning as the guitar. It's just down either a half step or a whole step. Here I could hit the -1. Right? I could go down a hole. Now, your latency will depend on how strong your system is. I'm feeling... Actually, that's pretty good. Probably a little bit more latent on the low notes. Actually, that's pretty good. I can turn that off. Turn it on. And off. So, it sounds pretty good. I don't know that it's perfect, but it's just a quick and easy way to transpose your instrument, if you're trying to learn a tune. And there's also this new little symbol up here. I think that tells you when the gate is on. If I... Hold on. Yeah, if I turn the gate off, that goes off. It's telling you that the gate's on. So even if I put this gate on the absolute minimum, 79, it'll show up. When you're playing a single coil instrument, just even turning it on to the very first notch makes a huge difference. It really does. So that was global transpose. And then the last thing I want to show you are chain breaks. Also new. And you do that by hitting this. It's a raw break. And you drag the button over. I was giving you a little instruction. If I click it, it says drag the button over. Okay. We drag this over. And I can put it here. I can put it here. It's telling me on the screen where I can put it. Break it here. I can break it here. I'm going to break it right here. You see that? And then it brings it down and puts it on the next line, so to speak. And it's just a way to get everything in one screen, rather than having to, scroll across. So there's just a little bit about the new THU, new layout, new fluid IRs, the new favorites feature up here with the favoriting, the global transposition feature right here. Right there. And lastly, the chain brakes. And like I said, if I wanted to, I could put another brake like here. It's unlimited chain brakes. You could literally just make a vertical stack if you wanted to. How do you remove the brake? Oh, I see. If the brake is already there, when you drag it up, it shows an X. Right? If the brake isn't there, it shows a plus. If the brake is there, it shows an X. See that? I hit there, and it comes back. I go back, I hit here, and we go back to our linear across. There you go. And if I just wanted to add it again, I just drag it there. Yeah, you know what? That's a pretty good user experience upgrade, you know, versus the old one. Put that trim on. Man, THU always sounded good. Always. And that's not even with a rig. That's with one of their built-in amps. All right, dudes. Well, there's a little bit of info about the new THU V2. That's both a V and a 2. And if you bought something, I think after November 24th, even if it was just like a rig, the upgrade is free. And for anyone else, it's $29. So pretty small upgrade fee, pretty nominal. And I would do it just to make sure that they have been adding a lot of fluid IRs. If you have like the recent release, what's that, 1.4.3 or something like that, if you have that most recent one, you'll have quite a few fluid IRs in there already. What you get with this is you get the rest of the fluid IRs, like they fill out the whole, list of cabs as fluid IRs, and then everything else, the chain brakes, the transposition, the favoriting and all that, the new look to it. That's, all part of V2. And there you go. And I'm sure that with this new internal system, right, that they're going to start coming out with more amps, right? This was more like environment, user experience, fluid IRs, and then some utilities like chain brakes and global transposition for your V2. All right, dudes. A link in the description for more information. And as always, thanks for hanging out, and rock on.